So this is something I had growing up all the time, usually on a Sunday or like a cozy kind of autumn winter day, and I just love it. And I made it recently and storied a little bit and showed the finished results on my stories, and everyone was like, please can you share this recipe. So you will need, by the way, I didn't mean to like dress colour themed my apple crumble today, but this tracksuit arrived this morning from Les Girls and Les Boys, and I'm obsessed with it, so I'm wearing the full, I'll just show you, I'm wearing the full tracksuit and I love it. My mum said you needed 5, but maybe mine was small when I made it the other day, but I thought I was low on apple mixture, so today I have got 6. And the first job is really quite long and boring, but you just have to peel all of your apples. I think I have a really bad peeler because this took me ages the other day, and I actually lost patience and started using a knife. That was probably why I ran out of apple mixture, because a knife takes off too much. You lose apple there. I don't really know why you need to use cooking apples. If you have other apples knocking around, I'm sure they would work fine, but this is the recommended apple. It's called a Bramley, and they're really big. Still peeling. I just stopped the camera for a minute because I thought this is going to get really boring. But if this was a live video, I could just chat to you in the comments, but I feel like I'm just talking to myself. But anyway, please let me know in the comments how your lockdown number 2 is going. I feel like in lockdown, baking is definitely something that keeps me sane. I just love it. It just makes me feel like I'm doing something that feels productive but nice and not too difficult, not too much pressure to put on yourself, because I do just think in lockdown you just need to get through every day and not put on pressure like I should be doing this, I should be productive. And if you have days where you don't leave the sofa, and I know lots of you will be furloughed from work or unable to work, and I just think, just do you and do what makes you happy, but I definitely would recommend a bit of baking. Another thing that I love doing is, sorry, I get really huffy and puffy when I'm peeling apples. Also, I hate it when the skin sticks to your skin. Oh, gross. Another thing that I'm obsessed with doing is reorganising rooms in the house, and I was actually talking to my housemate Emma about this last night and saying, I wonder why it feels so good when I just move things around. And she said, well, it's like when you're little and you have the same bedroom for maybe 15 years. I had the same bedroom growing up for 18 years, and I moved out when I was 18. And we used to always, Emma I've been friends with since I was like 5, and we would always, at the weekends, reorganise our rooms and just move our bed into a different position. And there's something about that that just makes the whole room just feel like a new, fresh space, and makes you be more creative and feel happier, and I don't know, I just really like it. But at the moment, I'm in the process of trying to create a nice space out of what I call the ground floor of my house. It needs a better room than that. Maybe I would call it music and games room or something. It's basically like a slightly more formal sitting room, because I have my snug room that I know lots of you have seen on my stories and stuff, which is where the TV is. But then as you walk in the front door, there's a room where I have the piano and just lots of bookshelves and one sofa, but we never sit in that room because it's not a very inviting space in the way I had it laid out. So I'm currently trying to make that space nice, but maybe I should document it on my stories or IGTV. Like, what would you guys prefer? How would you like to see that? If you'd like to see it at all, let me know. And you just need to cut them in half. You might have an apple corer if you're super cool. I don't. And just basically get the middles out of them, and then chop them into chunks like this kind of size, maybe slightly smaller, and we're going to pop them in the saucepan. I love stewed apples so much. When I was little, it was my favourite thing to eat. Like, my mum would put it in my lunchbox for school in a little pot, and I would just love it. Sorry, it's a bad bit on the apple, I just need to get rid of it. So what you could do is you could do double the amount of apples, and then you can have a stewed apple to have on your porridge or just as a snack. I love it. Now all of your chopped apple wants to go in a large saucepan, and also you want to put in a couple of tablespoons of water, just so they don't burn and stick to the bottom, and also a tablespoon of sugar. You can change the sugar amount to kind of suit however sweet you like your apples to be. I don't like them to be too sweet because the topping is made from sugar and flour and butter, so I think it's quite nice for the apples to be quite sour. I'm going to use a bit of soft dark brown sugar that actually has gone a bit hard in its thing, which always happens to me, but I'm only going to use that much. Just throw that in, and then a bit of water, and then get that onto a low heat. Okay, that's now on a low heat on the hob. I'm going to just switch my oven on to 175 because mine is quite hot. I always have to say that. For the crumble topping, what we're going to do now, I need that to face me actually. We're going to need 225 grams of plain flour. This is literally one of the easiest things to make, and it really doesn't take that long. So it's quite nice if it's something that you want to make on a Sunday after you've had a roast. I just find this the coziest pudding to have. I need a bowl. I really don't know why I just carried over the flour to go and get the bowl. That could have been really dangerous. Okay, I'm just pouring the flour straight into my bowl. And then you need a teaspoon of baking powder. I don't really know why there's baking powder in this recipe, but there is. I'm just shoving that in with my finger. Guesswork, so I'm such a professional chef. And then 75 grams of butter. Okay, about that much butter going in my bowl. I can get rid of the scale. Oh, and I think it's 150 grams of sugar. Ideally you want to use soft sugar, but I'm just worried mine's gone a bit hard. I might use a bit of this sugar. I always have these issues when I'm like baking on my own. My sugar is perfect, so I've just bought it from the shop, and then I go to film me baking and it's literally gone solid. But it's not too solid, it is crumbleable, so crumbleable. Okay, so I've done about 60 grams of the soft brown sugar, which makes it really tasty, like caramelly and lovely. Oh God, I forgot about my apples. And then I'm going to do caster sugar just to bring it up to 150. But ideally, you would use all brown, nice sugar. Okay. Great. Okay, so we don't need the sugar just yet. I'm just going to leave that there. What we want to do with our butter, flour and baking powder is you need to make it into breadcrumbs. This is going to get your fingers messy, but I don't really mind this part. And also don't forget to sow your apples, they will burn so easily. Here's what you can see. So the apples are starting to break down. I don't know if you can see in there. Nicely, and they're not burning. I'm going to turn them down even more though. You want them on a really low heat because you might forget about them whilst you're making your crumbly bits. Oh, I also put a lid on my apples just to make them happen a bit faster. Okay, going in with the butter and the flour. So you kind of just want to push the flour into the butter in this kind of motion, like that. And this will turn into a crumble topping, which is quite magical. So you first of all combine all of this and then we'll add in the sugar. I'm seriously in love with this tracksuit. It's just brightened my day having a bright colour on that I would never usually wear. It's quite kind of almost neon. So it starts to look like this. That's the kind of texture that you want. Like that. Now I'm going to add in our sugar. And I'm going to do this by hand just because I really need to crumble up those bits of dark brown sugar. But you could just stir this through if you wanted to, so we're kind of done with our crumbling. Okay, that is lovely and all really well combined. That's my crumble topping, ready to go. I will come back when my apples are done. My apples are done. I just love how easy this is. You just throw them in the pan with a bit of water, a tiny bit of sugar, and there's a few like bits of bigger apple left in there that haven't kind of gone into the mush mixture, but I quite like that, so I'm not going to let them go to full mush. And obviously they cook in the oven too. So switching this off, and then the next job is to bring them over and pour them into this pan. Oh my god, this is so heavy. That's really hot. Yeah, this is much better amount of apples. I would recommend doing 6, because if you have leftovers, actually there's quite a lot in here. Maybe I should take a tiny bit out because we'll have room for my crumble topping. If you have leftovers, it's okay, so maybe Mum was right saying 4 or 5, because now this looks like a lot, but with leftovers you can just eat them for breakfast with your porridge, or really nice with granola and yogurt, or you can make any kind of breakfast bowl with stewed fruit. I love stewing rhubarb. Rhubarb crumble is my second favourite after apple, because apple is just my childhood crumble. Okay, so my apples are written. Do we think I have room to put crumble on top, or should I save some apples for breakfasts? I think I'm going to remove a bit, just that much, back in the pan, and I will have that for my breakfast. Yeah, this looks like a more chilled amount of apple. It's not going so crazy. And then you just pour on your crumble mixture that you made earlier. I actually made loads of crumble mixture. You know what? I probably could have done it with a bigger pot. Oh god, this looks amazing. Now this you really want to get even. Just spread it out with your fingers. May as well use that last little drop. He's going in. Oh, my shelves are not at a very good height. I'm just going to make the shelf so you can go a bit more in the middle. Okay, in he goes. Good luck. And you want to leave it in there for 30 minutes, maybe check it after 25, but 25 to 30 minutes, and he'll be done. So guys, we have learned a lesson today of why you should always listen to your mum. I've had an apple explosion around the edge. It still looks amazing, but the apple, I put too much apple in, basically. I should have listened. But I actually need to keep this up to go with it. I'm just going to leave that to stand because it's going to be too hot to eat, for maybe 10 minutes anyway. And in that time, I'm going to heat up my custard, and I got this Essential Waitrose fresh custard, which is a real treat. I often just use like a tin of ambrosia, but if you can get this stuff, this is a bit nicer. I love custard so much, I can't even explain it. So you just want to put your custard on a nice low heat, don't want that to burn. I'm going to cut out a nice chunk of crumble in the corner. This looks so good. Okay, my custard is heated. Just going to pour this over. I like to kind of do it on the side of the bowl and a bit on the crumble, just so that you can still kind of see some crumble. And that is my finished apple crumble and custard, ready to eat in probably about 5 minutes, because it looks like it's going to be scalding hot right now. This is it. Okay, I've managed to wait about 5 minutes for that to cool down a little bit, but can I just say how happy I am with my crumble? Honestly, I think it's one of the nicest things that you can make. And now I'm going to try it with this. God, it still feels really hot. Please don't burn my mouth. Oh my god, my favourite pudding. Please send me a photo if you make this, or tag me on your stories or something so that I can see, because I'd love to see you guys making this. And obviously you can use any fruit that you want. Apple is just my favourite. Okay, Bye.